Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Melos Machina. I hope that you have had a fantastic 2 weeks. Gosh, it is the first of the month, and we are back at it again. Hi, friends.
Oh, my goodness.
We are, as you can see, without one of our elves with sticks tonight. The Icon will be with us in spirit this evening. I know. What are we going to do?
It's not a joke if there's just one.
The elf.
No,
Who doesn't even have their stick. No, stick is gone.
Oh boy.
I can't even meme.
There's no stick to
We're
be
falling
had.
apart.
I know.
Now it's just elves.
Yeah. You and me.
Happy July, everyone. I hope that it has been a great start to your month. And for everyone who might be celebrating tomorrow, have an amazing 4th of July. And if you're not celebrating tomorrow, have an amazing 4th of July. I think just have a good one.
Still happens for everybody else.
Exactly.
Hope
The
it's
day-
still
really good
there.
24 hours.
Sleep all day. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat.
Right.
Also,
I like
eating is
eating. I like
It's going to be a
eating.
good time. It's going to be a good time. Before we dive into tonight's episode, a couple of quick announcements. First up, we are going to be implementing something new here on our show here, Melos Machina. So this is for any of you who are our subscribers on Twitch or patrons over on Patreon. If you head on over to our Discord, there are subscriber-only channels. Next week, there will be a new channel. It will be the After Show channel, where after the stream is done, you will be able to tune in and watch us all kind of decompress after an episode. You'll get to see a little behind the scenes of what it's like as soon as we hit stop stream on the computer and are just ourselves. Get to see us packing up our stuff, see all the players call me horrible names for the things that I've done to them that day.
It's usually
Well, don't do those
Yeah.
things, and then we won't call you names, okay?
They are earned. They are deserved.
It is,
We,
yes.
we were
Yeah.
pretty cordial after the last episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
after the last one. Well, there was talk.
But
Word out.
you can tune into that talk. You can see a little bit of behind the scenes and see us as people instead of the characters that are being portrayed at this table.
Who is me?
Yeah, who
That's a
is
good
us?
question.
Well, that is then also going to lead us in to the message from today's, the continuing sponsor of Melos Machina, and that is Cantrip Candles. Ladies and gentlemen, Cantrip Candles are soy candles with a story. They're made here in Los Angeles. Each one is scented for a different location or a vibe or feel for your tabletop games. You can go check them out at cantripcandles.com and be sure to use code APAC, that's APACK, at checkout for 10% off your order. But also, right now, it is their summer sale. They've got their summer sale going on where you can get 20% off of their goods.
Dangerous.
You can check out they have some exclusive scents like their Cobalt Kush. They've got some right now.
They're for 20 cents.
Yeah.
Buy so many candles.
It's really good, actually. It smells really warm and nice, and
Is that
like
the
Little
pineapple-y one?
Yeah.
And their other warm and nice exclusive scent, Long Rest. So you can go check those out on their website again, cantripcandles.com. You can also use that code at checkout in person. So if you are local to the greater Los Angeles area, you can use that there. But a big old thank you again to the continuing sponsor of Melos Machina, Cantrip Candles.
they're the best.
They
We
are
love them.
so good.
There we
Um,
go. That's how the young people.
But also quick to confirm, their summer sale begins tomorrow. It has not started now. It begins tomorrow at noon. So yeah.
Be buying some candles tomorrow.
Nice.
Get Maven on Patreon of Faces. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
I know there's a couple names in their like patrons and deities line that I'm like, damn, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, the Sentient
some real
Forge.
The Sentient
Yeah.
Forge. How
Yeah.
cool is that?
That's just
Yeah.
a dope name.
So good.
Smells real good too.
You did good over there,
does.
guys. You did great.
Y'all brilliant.
That's the Chauncey one.
Sentient Forge.
Oh my gosh, can we turn Chauncey into a walking
Sentient
forge?
forge.
Like,
I mean,
you wanted a travel
we
forge.
could try.
It'll work way better than the cart, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Just cut to the cart in ashes.
Definitely thought
Somehow
about that.
Chauncey shrugs.
What did I do? Just a little guy. Just a little guy.
He is.
All right. Well, with that being said, friends, are we all set to dive into today's episode? episode 21.
Oh, more cider.
Yeah, more
Blackjack.
brunch. It's brunch. We're gonna enjoy brunch before
The
Scott
brunch
decides that
episode.
everyone is like a
We're
spider.
gonna spend the
and we're gonna-
whole time at brunch.
Nothing bad happens before brunch.
Exactly.
That's right.
When last we met our adventurers, they had found themselves enjoying a peaceful morning in the secluded town of Gladen, and had the opportunity to get to meet many of its inhabitants. Having first spent some time with Elin at the Mist Falls Cidery, as well as Gwen, the halfling fisherwoman, who was eager to welcome you to the town and even more eager to show off her inventions. The party then split with Duathi, Aiken, and Finn visiting the town's woodworker, Illimnor, who used a very unorthodox method of crafting his wares, while Andy and Aaron sought out Cade, the town blacksmith, who apologized profusely for her son, whom she was sure that Andy would soon meet.
So ready.
With the rest of the day ahead of them, the party decided to head to the Crestview Inn for some food before continuing their visit to the herbalist, who it was said might have a pearl with which he would be willing to part. The party finds themselves walking down the path towards the southern waterfall of the town, where the Crestview Inn rests partially on the land, but mostly on the lake itself. The front door to the building is resting on the beginnings of a boardwalk that goes from the dirt path onto the shore of a moderate-sized lake, though nothing compared to what you all have seen having left Riversmeet. It almost feels like a glorified pond, but still large enough for a decent-sized body of water, to the north of which it is being fed by a small river that is connecting the larger of the two bodies of water, that the above of which is being fed by one of the two waterfalls. But here the Crestview Inn rests with, as the name suggests, a view of the crest of the southernmost waterfall. The door is shut, however, it is clearly very lively inside. You can see the massive wooden doors carved with ornate depictions of vines and leaves as if part of nature itself, above which large open pane glass through which you can actually see through the building itself to the other side. It looks like as though the main area inside of this might be some grand hallway of sorts.
Oh.
As you approach, there's simply a sign on the front that reads Crestview Inn.
I think I'll approach the door and with a hefty heave, give it a full open or push. I don't know which way to go.
What does it say? Ye olde push.
As you go, they are wrought iron handles that curve outwards, almost as if half of a heart that you were able to grab, and very clearly has a pull to them.
Well, I'm not as svelte as I can. I will put my whole body weight. It looks heavy enough that I need to heave with my whole shoulder, and I will attempt to get a look inside and take us immediately to an area where we can get something to grub on.
As you open, the door, for its massive size, moves with a much lighter weight than you were anticipating, though not enough that the force that you put into it puts you off balance, but simply that is quite relaxed even in the simple action of opening this door. Inside you see a large open chamber, all hardwood floors, and to the left and right side, large pillars that go from the floor to the ceiling. Again, all seem to be carved out of simple wood. Directly in front of you, there is a counter, almost a host table, behind which a young woman is seated. Behind her, you can see the room, the hall continues onwards, and you can see a collection of tables behind her. The first thing, though, that really catches your attention, aside from the vast openness of this space, continuing and aided by the sense of the large windows to the far back that overlook the lake itself. But you also hear the sound of flowing water. As you approach the front countertop,
The fact that you have this many notes about this, I love it, but I'm also like,
I'm like, what is happening?
just getting my everything collected.
Sure. Stressed out. This place isn't full of vampires.
It's these attention to details that will make us surprised when the betrayal ultimately comes. Because we're thinking about windows.
If you want to see more conversations like this,
subscribe.
I'm here for it, though.
lots of talk about how Scott will eventually betray us again.
So a young woman standing behind the counter appears humanoid. She has a short blonde bob and is wearing a flowing and simple yet elegant at the same time blouse with a, you believe, the top of a long skirt. And she looks up and says, "Good morning. Will it be the five of you?"
I believe so, right?
Yeah.
Yes, 5 for a quick morning meal at the moment.
Just a meal,
yes.
of course. And are you interested in staying for the evening, or?
No, I don't think accommodations are needed quite right now.
Fantastic. 5 for the meal. Would you please follow this way? And she beckons, and you can see the collection of tables smattered throughout them. You see a couple of guests seated. It's about half full with a variety of humanoids. You see a couple of dwarves, it looks like a small family of halflings, small for a halfling family, and humans and elves alike. And she beckons you over. Any preference on seating? Would you like Lakeview or more centered?
Well, I mean, the place is called the Crestview Inn. It seems only fitting if you have a window seat.
View is available. We'd
Absolutely. Will your, as she looks down at Chauncey, companion be joining, waiting?
If that's okay, he can, sit under the table or just by me, somewhere that's out of the way.
He is very precious.
And very well behaved.
Wonderful. Yes, we should be able to accommodate. Please.
Thank you.
She leads you over. As you walk through the area, you realize that the reason that you were hearing the sounds of water, about halfway through the building, you come to an area where the floor stops. There is essentially a break with wooden floors on either side, but a continuation of the river within the building. Bridges to both the left and the right-hand side, but the center of this space is open to allow the water to breathe and be a part of the inn.
That's so beautiful.
It is gorgeous.
She brings you over the bridge and leads you to a table by the large windows. You can see a balcony on the outside, as if these open face windows lead out to an area where You can walk about. There don't appear to be any tables out there. But she seats you at a large circular table, large enough for the party of 5, with enough room nearby that Chauncey can nestle down.
I do get stuck on the bridge though because I'm looking down to see if there are any fish in the river. And then I come back when I drink.
As you peer down into the water, give me a perception.
Ooh, that's going to be a 15.
15. Looking through, you can see, with where the inn is, it is less of a flowing river and more of just a small churning body of water that is ever moving due to both the feeding from one end and the exiting of the waterfall itself. But as you look down, you can see all the way down actually to the bottom of the water. It is very clear. You can see plant life growing. You can see bits of green swaying. And you do see one smaller fish kind of flickering about.
Follow it for a little bit. And then I remember I'm supposed to be hanging out with my friends and eating a meal, so I run over.
All right. As you're seated, the woman looks at you and says, what will y'all be having?
Well,
Something local, something hearty. We just had some delicious fresh oysters, though, and I think we could enjoy a few more of those, but I think something to get us through into the evening time as well. If the chef has a roast or some fresh fish as well, that would be wonderful.
Absolutely. Let's see. Well, I can say what we currently have. If you're interested, we have a fresh baked flatbread with sweet cream. Additionally, we have an egg that has been baked within a tomato and chili concoction. Additionally, we have roasted zucchini and local greenery. You had mentioned we do have 2 options for the mussels. We have, or the oysters. We have the oyster on the half shell with a wedge of lemon, as well as the baked oysters with a creamed cheese and a dollop of zest on top.
Ooh,
well,
might as well try a different style
Yeah,
of
well,
oysters.
I think
read my mind.
a few orders of the baked oysters would be wonderful. Zucchini sounds wonderful, but by all means, let's fill our stomachs, yes?
I would like one of the flatbreads with the sweet cream on it, please.
I was going to say the same.
Everything sounds so good. The tomato sounds a bit hearty for brunch, but one of everything else we can share.
Yeah.
That's one of each else, so we'll have the 2 of the sweet cream and 1 of everything else.
Does that work?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
That sounds amazing.
What's your favorite?
Well, the flatbread is very delightful. However, I will say the moment the baked egg with tomato and chili is delightful.
Maybe we do want one of those too then.
I think we're getting 2 of the flatbread and then 1 of everything else.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah,
Oh, that's amazing. Okay.
why not? We're on
and
vacation.
we'll just share.
Okay.
Very good.
I'm
So
going to have to find some work to get more money to buy more food.
with 1 of everything else, that will come out to 2 gold and 6 silver for everything.
Okay.
I can take care
anything
of
to
this.
Are
drink.
you sure?
Sure.
Oh.
Some cider for the table,
Yeah,
I think.
that
Everyone
would
would
be
certainly
cider's
enjoy.
fine.
Lovely.
That would be amazing. It was so delicious.
Very good. The ciders for the table will be another 5 silver in total.
Okay.
Are you sure, Finn?
Yes, it's not a problem.
Okay.
Besides, Aaron got the rooms, so it's only fair.
Thank you.
That's very kind of both of you.
Once you find more money in the streets, you can take care of the next one.
My gosh.
As she takes the order, she walks away, leaving you. As you can hear a general chatter about the space. Seems as though with the roughly 15 other patrons here, this looks as though it is a small hub of non-locals in the town.
Makes sense.
As I take a seat, I'll look over to Aiken and Dwarthians. It sounds as though once we return to the lock jumper, we might have someone of interest who
Oh.
will be continuing on to venture. It seems the blacksmith of the town has a son rather interested in mechanical engineering.
Oh, like what you do.
Yes.
Also, he'll probably want to ask you questions.
Oh, yeah. Cade definitely said that he'd be, chatting my ear off. So.
Oh, probably because he is very excited to.
Oh, totally.
things like you are.
I'm very excited to talk to him.
Okay.
The real question is he a person of interest for us, or is he interested in us?
Cade seemed to allude to the matter of his serendipitous ride, meaning our presence on the boat will be a happy present for him.
Do you think he'll be helpful
In what way?
in our work?
I don't know. I haven't met the guy. She said that he's rather naive, maybe better at the building than the ideas. It was, of course, Gwen's idea, the little elevator, but he was the one who built it.
Oh. Well, he did a very good job on
He
building that.
did, but
That was
yeah,
very
she
impressive.
said that he's not as creative, but he's good at making things.
Well, I'm excited to meet him.
Yeah.
It can be hard to train creativity, but sometimes practice will do that for you.
Yeah,
So,
totally. I
who's to
think she
say?
said that he was interested in being a conservator, so
Yes, as lofty aspirations, but
Yeah.
as you two are a demonstration of, it can manifest in something really tangible, and here we are.
yeah,
So,
you never know.
Is it hard to become a conservator?
Yeah, very.
Okay.
Yeah, basically, I think we've spoken about this before. I've
A little bit, yeah.
been building Chauncey more or less my whole life, with pieces that I found. It definitely impressed people in my town.
I mean, I can see why, like I said, he is precious.
Yeah.
So,
And he wasn't, he didn't function then.
How did you come across the conservators?
I more or less people in my town found ways to communicate my talents to the conservators. I possibly in an effort to bring more attention to my town, because it's a very small mining town. So yeah, I feel like a lot of it was to, I don't know,
and then
sort of be like, we have a special person here,
Well, they certainly do.
which feels
So-
weird to
but did the
say.
Itagog then come to you, or did you seek?
Oh,
wow.
You were recruited essentially.
more or less, yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I think possibly putting Zachary through some sort of rudimentary test will give us a better a knowledge of his skill set.
Yeah.
We have some time on the boat.
Yeah, I'm,
I
you
think
know,
that will determine his potential.
absolutely.
We'll see if he's up to snuff. Let's just be mindful. Our work is still very confidential in the meantime.
No, look, I don't know if he'd be useful to kind of take on, but worth having a chat with him.
Sounds like, useful or not, putting him to work on one of our side projects might actually be a good way to get him out of the way and to encourage his aptitude.
Yeah.
Nurturing young minds is actually very important to
Yeah.
the entirety of civilization, so
Yeah.
set him on the right path.
I felt like there were a lot of similarities in, I don't know, our stories, and his mum reminded me a lot of my father, so we'll see.
We will. But first we eat.
Yes, I'm so excited.
What of your adventure with Ilmvor?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Surely. So we went to meet. Oh my gosh, I forgot his name.
Ilimvor.
Ilmor.
Elimvor. We went to go meet Elimvor, and he was very nice. It turns out that he can take plants and grow them into unique shapes. So he can, ask the wood to grow a certain way, and then it does.
That's
which
so cool.
is really amazing. It's a thing I've sort of seen done, but never with that use in mind, which was very, very interesting. And he was very nice, and we talked a bit. And and we talked a lot about what he is trying to do and about what I know versus what he knows, which are very different things but sort of overlaid. But he's on a very different part of his journey with this sort of magic than I am, which was also very interesting to talk about. And then you may notice I do not have my stick. He's cleaning up my stick a little bit, so it's a little bit fancier,
That's so cool.
which was very nice
It's
of
going to be
him.
very cool.
So, yeah.
That's
It
great.
was very nice to meet him. I haven't met anybody since I came here and have been traveling with Aiken, who's able to do magic exactly like I do.
He seemed very
So-
impressed with you.
I was very impressed with him, so
A lot of harmony.
it's exciting to meet someone else who does sort of what you do, But
Absolutely.
he was very nice.
That's why I'm excited.
Exactly. It's you get to learn new things and
Yeah.
get new ideas. So, but yeah, I'll have to go back and get my stick.
We will.
All right, and here we are. As she comes back, has a large platter, places a flatbread in front of each of you, and arrays the table with the rest of the food. One of the trays of oysters and the baked egg are steaming in the air inside. Says, enjoy, and if you need anything, feel free to flag me down.
Thank you. What's your name?
Cade.
Cade?
Yes.
Okay.
This is the young woman with the bob. Yellow dress, yellow shirt.
Yellow.
All right, sorry. Retract that. Elsie.
Ilse. I was like,
E-L-S.
Cade is
That's
the
a very
blacksmith.
popular name.
S-E-A.
E-L-S-E-A.
Elsie.
Thank
And,
you, Elsie.
It was about 3 gold total.
All in all, it was the 2 and 6, 3 gold, 1 silver.
Excellent. Hand over 3.5.
Thank you.
Thank you. We may be stopping back for dinner as well. Is it the same menu tonight, or?
It will be a little bit different this evening. Changes from morning to evening, and will change minorly day to day depending on what the chef is hoping.
Love it. Well, thank you. And
Thank you.
we'll let you know if we need anything else.
And with that, she heads back.
As she walks away,
Mhm.
can I just scan the rest of the main floor? Like you said, it was kind of open. There's some tables. Like, is there a bar set up against one side? Like, is there any entrances or exits to a different part of the inn that like might take us like around like a back patio or anything like that? Like, can we see where the kitchen's going?
Sure,
Give me
absolutely.
the rest of the layout.
So from your initial just look about the space, the section that you were taking up compared to what you saw from the outside is much smaller. So it appears as though this area is similarly in width to the main entryway. It's roughly 60 feet across and maybe 70 to 100 feet long. However, once you get past the front little portion where the front desk was, it opens up much wider. At least the building from the outside does. From the inside, you see the walls continuing on, but you do see a set of doors to either side. To the right, as you were looking at the entryway, is the doors go off into what looks like it could be a kitchen area. But then a second set of doors closer to kind of your end, where the balcony to the outside begins, looks like it could go off to private rooms. The left side, again, two sets of doors, one closer to the front and one here closer towards the back, that go off into the much longer distance, or longer section of the building.
Looking around at the other patrons, you said they're mostly non-locals. But
Possibly.
is there any kind of trend with the way, on average, that they dress, or like, are they well-to-do? Are they working class? Are they merchants potentially? Can I tell just by the way they dress, carry themselves, or other affectations?
Give me a why this be an investigation, or just so let's have this be an intelligence-based perception check.
Okay. Got it.
Maps.
Oh. Wow. That would be a 22.
22. Looking about, it is a variety of folks. You do see some people who are wearing nicer clothes. It looks as though the halfling family, it is a man and a woman of sort of middle-aged, halfling age, with three youngers, their children, you would assume. They seem to be nicer clothed, at least nicer than what you have noticed from the people that you've met in the town so far, and certainly of the people of Riversmeet. Not quite as nice as you.
Well, let's be realistic here.
Yes, as you look about, you are definitely one of the nicer dressed in the area. But there's also the dwarves, seem to be working class, as far as all of this based on just initial appearance.
Of course.
There is a man and a woman seated at a table just by themselves, appear to be human. That very similar sort of middle to middle upper class based on the looks. So it does look as though it is a nice assortment. You definitely get the impression that this inn, and by means Gladen as a whole, sort of applies to everyone.
I'll tuck in, everyone. I think we've earned some nice, a bit of a relaxing time, and as mentioned, this is our stopover on the way to Venture, so soak it all in. Back on the waters tomorrow.
Pretty great place for a stopover, I must say.
Truly such a beautiful place.
I do not need to be told twice.
Oh, yeah,
I'm taking about a fifth of everything.
Yeah. Same.
But not too far. I'm thinking about a fifth of everything.
Chowing down.
What was the herbalist's name again? We still need to inquire as to his whereabouts, right?
I would
Yes.
know.
Corcoran.
Corcoran, yes, okay.
Yeah.
Let's not forget to ask within for your materials, Finn,
Right.
as well as any supplementary information you might add
Yeah,
on
I think Duothy
what
needed some
Duothy or
stuff.
Iken could utilize as
Yeah.
well.
We
We've also
both
been
are
looking for
little
spell
low.
components.
We're both a little low on our kits, so
Didn't Gwen say he was injured recently and he might not be the
Yeah.
most accommodating?
She said he
Possibly
might
prickly.
be a little cranky.
Should we bring lunch or what? What do you bring? Timothy?
without knowing what he likes, I imagine we just bring our cheerful selves.
Well, you'll take the lead then, Duapi.
Oh, great.
It's strange sitting here. It's seeing that halfling family over there. I bet they're on vacation. It reminds me of when I was a kid, that age.
Did your family travel a lot, or did you just take vacations
Well-
within the city?
It was certainly not like this. This would have been remarkable. The lake in Sarasmena is. There's something about this place, the way it's built into the nature, built around the nature. We don't do that in Sarasmena.
Oh.
There's no room left for the nature. We've built everything around, and we try to bring the nature back in while we can. But to see the waterfall just keep flowing through the building here, there's something.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh. I suppose if after that long in that smallest spot, people would just, they would keep being more people over all time. So
Yeah.
Perhaps that's why they had to open the walls. But
Among other reasons, yes.
it is quite crowded.
I will be prepared. As prepared as I can be.
Yeah.
Which that's all we can ever be, I suppose.
I suppose so. I know that I will not, no matter how much you tell me about what these cities are like, I will not be prepared for them.
No, it's very different.
Getting that impression from the way you talk about everything
Yeah.
like this. So,
But it was quite a shock for me to find out here is different than I imagined too. So if I can handle it, I'm sure you can.
I'll be alright.
I say all of this in between bites.
I could just stay here all day.
About how tall did you say the waterfalls are? The
Like-
waterfall from your experience on the jump down Gwen's elevator, that one was roughly 100 feet. The northern waterfall, the one that you can see fully from the town, you gauge is maybe a little bit bigger.
Actually, at some point, I will probably finish up my food. I have a feeling probably before other people, because I'm just going to scarf it.
Yeah.
But then I am also going to, at some point, I would like to go and see if there's a place where I can sort of, I know that we're right near the water, but if I can go stand on the bridge or something like that and put my hand in the water or anywhere I could put my hand towards it, that
Of
would be
course.
really nice.
From the bridge inside, it seemed like it was raised up high enough that it would be kind of difficult to reach your hand down without laying
Being
down
weird,
fully,
yeah.
maybe being a little weird in public, which
Hey.
may not be a problem for Duapi.
Yeah. I still wouldn't do it even though.
However, looking about, you do see a door close to where you are that leads to the outside patio on the other side of the massive windows. And seeing the balcony from having a view from the table where you are, you can see that it is level with the eating area, and then a small set of stairs that lead down closer to the water.
I will be right back. And I'm going to go outside and sort of just go down those stairs and see where they go.
As you go outside, the stairs, the entire outside patio is rounded by those sets of stairs, which is just an extension of the patio into a lower area, which rests just barely above the water of the lake. So much so that with little bits of the lapping of the water, the turbulence that's made as it flows in from the river connecting the two, you can hear just a of the water brushing up against the underside of the wood.
I will go sit near to the water, and then if I can, sort of reach my hand out to it and let it.
Absolutely, it's just inches below. It's the thickness of the wood boards that you're standing on is all that separates you and the water.
Sort of keep my hand running through it.
It is cold, very cold.
I'm going to wait until I can sort of feel the bones in my hand from the cold, and then I'll pull it back out.
Your fingertips being slightly more pale than usual.
Good. Okay, then I will go back inside.
Well, I could spend all day here, but unfortunately we only have one day here. And I know it's going to be too short, so shall we?
Yes, let's give Corcoran a ring.
Okay.
Keep it cut. If he is bristly, you don't want to pry too hard.
Yeah.
Though, if we could be of aid, that might be able to grease the wheels, as you might say.
Yeah.
See what we can do, if there's anything we can do to help. But also, it's up to him.
Some people want to be left alone.
Some people just
Exactly.
want to be paid as well, so at least we have that.
We do have that.
At least a little bit of it.
All right.
Finish up. I'll just look for Elsie and just see if I can gain her attention and just ask, shall we bus ourselves?
Please
or?
leave. We'll take care of
well,
it.
much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us, and may you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Just out of common curiosity, is there anything this evening in forms of nightly entertainment that the town enjoys in? We are here for the evening. We don't want to miss a thing.
Nothing as far as entertainment goes. It's more of a quiet evening.
Understood.
That's what we generally have.
If the circus was in town, I'd hate to miss it.
I don't think we've ever had the circus in town yet.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Good day.
All right. With that, you all leave after a good hour and a half, 2 hours, just relaxed morning meal, bellies full, but not quite enough to make you lethargic.
Just enough.
Just look.
Yeah.
As you exit the roaring of the waterfall that is fairly close to the Crestview catches your ears. It was still present on the inside the inn, but much quieter, but though not distracting as you leave. Making your way down the road, you enter back into the main thoroughfare of the town.
As we are walking, I would like to just sort of turn to everyone. I have a quick question, though, that is, I'm just sort of curious about it. The very nice lady who was at the shrine, she was speaking a sort of unique language. I'd never heard any of you speak it before, and I've obviously never heard it before. Do any of you know what that was?
I'm uncertain if I would have been in earshot in that moment enough to pick up what the language was, or if I recognized it.
Don't do it.
I would have given
Anything.
them the space. So
I feel like Dorothy and Aiken were the only ones that heard it.
At the mention of a Order of the Melos speaking a language, go ahead and anyone interested may give me a history check.
She did say the word Melos a few times in that language, but so that's all I know.
I think I might have a particular familiarity. Natural 20.
Non-natural
Yeah,
20.
the same.
25.
25, 20, and 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I reach my hand for it.
So you you are all familiar with the fact that the order does keep alive parts of ancient Jaudekian.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is essentially a dead language at this point, but is purely used for ritualistic methods for the Order of the Melos.
To convey that, luckily I'm the type of person who studies languages that aren't used anymore, so I'm familiar a little bit with its roots and origins, and of course the most common of the prayers, but
That's fascinating. Okay.
not surprised you haven't heard it out here. Very few people, even in the cities, still even can speak it, let alone read it. It's not really written.
Well, and actually,
Yeah.
to clarify on this, at this point, it is dead enough that there is no written record. It is purely spoken and passed down within the order.
Okay. Right. So it's a purely religious, like high religious theme.
Mhm.
Okay.
Hard to parse any of the meaning out of the string of the prayer itself.
Oh, okay.
But
That is very interesting. Okay. I
Do-
just did not know. It sounded like she was saying something nice to me, but I had no idea what it was. So I sort of nodded and was like, "Thank you."
I mean, I'm sure it was nice.
She
Lovely.
seemed very lovely,
Yeah.
but no, I just didn't want to not be impolite
Yeah.
on accident.
No, maybe it was a blessing of sorts.
I kind of got that impression
Yeah.
that it was like a, I hope your day goes nicely, but like fancier.
Right.
So, okay.
I always took my own meaning out of the traditions anyway, so... Did she speak to you at all in Common or Elvish?
Oh, in common.
What did you talk about?
She sort of talked to me about the song bearer and about how she watches out for people, and sings the song, and that she hears her, but that she hasn't appeared for a very long time, apparently. That's what she said. She said that the song bearer used to appear to people, but she hasn't appeared to people since. I could be wrong, but I got the impression what she meant was since the city's closed. So, but
Depends on what you consider appearing. Some would say that the song bearer makes her presence known every day.
People find omens in the falling of a leaf. It's what you apply to the meaning.
Right.
that was the impression she gave me, was
Yeah.
that she was related to the song bearer through feeling her being there more than seeing her. But I suppose believing in something is kind of like that, I would guess. But
That's a big part of it.
I'm getting that impression. But it was very interesting to talk to her, and she was very nice, so I just wanted to make sure I wasn't, being accidentally impolite or anything, because I'm pretty good
No.
at that.
No, I'm sure you're fine.
Well,
Okay.
to risk also accidentally being impolite, and forgive me if it does come off that way, it seemed like you had a bit of a moment there. You don't have to share, but if you ever do want to talk about it, well, I'd very much like to share my thoughts as well.
I mean, sure. I don't think there's too much to share, but I mean,
How close are we probably getting to where we're going by this point?
At this point, you've pretty much entered into the center of town. Oddly enough, you have a perfect view of the temple, or the shrine.
Oh, okay.
And you had been told the general direction of Corcoran's house,
Yeah.
correct? So
Other side of town,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
you're beginning to make your way up a dirt path that is heading towards the other waterfall.
it's really hard to explain something like what I started feeling.
I
But
understand that.
it was.
Tell you what, you think about it. The offer's
Okay.
always on the table. I haven't visited a shrine for the purpose of prayer in at least a decade or more, but it's either I'm feeling nostalgic for my youth or it's the 2 glasses of cider I had before lunch. I was thinking about going back tonight, and well, there was this ritual my mum and I used to practice. I'd be happy to show you.
Sure, that's very kind of you to share. Was your mother, was she religious?
I don't know if that's the right word for it. She certainly believed. She had her own way of showing that and of connecting to the Melos. And if anything, if you ask that priest, well, let's just say it's not the typical way of showing that.
It seems as though there are a lot of rules about that.
Well, when it comes to connecting with the Melos, there is no right or wrong. That's true. But, well, I'll show you later
Yeah.
what I mean.
I think it's more the order has their ways, and other people also have their ways of feeling connected.
Religion certainly isn't a mandatory thing. It's just, well, it's just part of being part of it all.
At this point, as you wind through the housing and rest of the buildings of Gladen, and sort of parted away, and you see a small home with a rather large garden out front of it. And it appears to be similarly nestled up to the side of the northern lake of the town. Directly behind it, you have a beautiful view of the northern waterfall. The entire house is sort of covered in a sparkling dew from the mist that is coming off of the fall. As you approach, you notice that the garden, though very vibrant and alive, has signs of being untended. But not for very long. Recent neglect. The front door is closed.
Well,
Okay.
you taking the lead, Duarte?
Sure.
I'll stand with you.
Okay. I mean, I'm not normally worried about meeting new people. It's
I
just,
know.
you know.
When
not
you're
today.
told someone's
Having a
cranky.
bad day.
Wouldn't it be funny if we just put Chauncey by the door and then knocked and ran away? Not a good idea. I just thought it was
No,
funny.
it's pretty funny. Poor
We've only just
Chauncey.
arrived. Let's not make a bad impression on
No,
Really
no,
funny
I'm just
stuff.
feeling silly.
If we needed nothing from this man,
Right.
and he wasn't already
Something
predisposed,
we
Never
could
thought you
do
to be a
elsewhere,
prankster,
maybe.
Andy.
I don't
Next
know.
time we
It
find
just
someone
sounded
we
fun.
know, though, we should do that. Because
Okay.
it's really funny.
Maybe if we go back to Gwen at some point.
Could leave him there.
Okay.
Alright, I'll knock on the door.
As you knock on the door, you hear some scuffling on the inside. Wood dragging across wood. And then footsteps. And then the door opens a moderate crack, which you can see a not quite old, but not quite middle-aged gnome with a bit of a scruffy beard and short hair. Seems to be wearing a cap that is covering most of it. He looks up and says, "Ed, can I help you?"
Yes, hello. My name is Dewati, and this is Andy. And
Hello.
Can I help you?
we were told you were an herbalist.
Yeah.
My friend Aiken, who is over here, he and I were looking to replenish our herbalism kits, and we were curious if you sold or procured anything that would be helpful with that. And also, my friend Finn over here was looking for a pearl and was told you might have one. And so we thought we would come by and maybe purchase a few things, if that is all right with you and something that you do.
Yeah, that's something I do. Come in. With that,
Okay.
he
Thank you.
turns, and as he does, he opens the door. You can see immediately the inside of this small home. Looks similarly as unkept as the garden in the front. You can see a table that has 4 chairs around it, one that has been pulled away. You can see a small stack of dishes that are resting on the table. Hanging from the ceiling, and you can see a large assortment of dried or drying herbs. A small fireplace in the back that you see burnt logs, no fire roaring. It is darker inside. There is a couple of candles lit to create a little bit of life. As he turns and walks away, Duathi, and the door opening, you can see that there is a large wrapping across his chest. And his left arm is missing. Well, don't just stand out there. Come on in.
Okay. I will sort of step inside. Is it a small... Do we have to get down a little bit? to
It
get
is
into
a smaller roof, but it is still high enough for an average-sized creature.
Okay. I'll get in a little bit. But yes, thank you so much for your help, and we are very grateful for you helping us out.
What sort of things are you looking for? Do you need?
I'm just looking to replenish my herbalism kit. I lost it, and it's pretty empty. So mostly generic things to help out with healing or making different tinctures and things.
So run of the mill, sort of just fix what I.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can do that.
Thank you.
And then, if you do have any of the more potent ingredients for spell components or other sorts of magical alchemical means, we're interested in that as well.
Yeah, was there anything in particular that you were looking for?
Just a good smattering of everything. I'm doing some experimentation.
Okay.
Some incense would be helpful. Some precious stones that you might have acquired over time.
Well,
would be
stones
interesting
I
as well.
can. Stones I can't really help you out with.
Good, we probably don't have the funds for many stones either.
Incense, I've got some dried sage you could burn, and that would do the a similar thing as incense, but I don't do the condensing, the production. It's simply the plant that I
Right.
deal with.
Well.
I can put something together for you, I'm
Sure.
sure, and
That
something
would
together for you as well.
Be lovely. And then I can also needed
The same.
an herbalism kit as well.
All right.
Is there
And
anything?
then- oh.
Is there anything unique to Gladen that can only be found here that we might be able to utilize, to your knowledge, Corcoran?
This place is unique.
Medicinally speaking.
Oh.
He stares at you for just a moment too long. What, why do you ask?
Call it a hunch.
We've been in a few scrapes over the last few days. It's just looking for protection for future events, should they occur.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, nothing I can help you with on that.
No problem.
Okay.
Seems some people in this town need something a bit stronger than cider sometimes, though.
Yeah.
I'm looking. I think this. I'm wanting to do an insight check on this, but you can tell me what the roll is.
Hmm.
How much pain is he in? Maybe this would be medicine.
Give me a medicine check, yeah.
Yeah.
Medicine's intelligence, yeah?
Wisdom?
Wisdom? Perfect.
It's a 21.
Yeah! May you also please give me an insight? That's a good medicine, but I do want both.
They're both. Oh, a natural one on that.
No.
But that's an 8.
An 8. Physically, he does seem to be in some pain as he, as Corcoran goes around and begins pulling some herbs down from the dried section. He roots through a drawer here or there. You can see he heads to a cabinet that looks as though he hasn't really done much with it in a little while, but is pulling it open. You see him wincing every now and again. So he does appear to be in a degree of physical pain, but is still able to move about. It's really easy to tell that though the emotional pain is also severe.
Okay. I know the big one. And again, it's okay if this is not the thing you are willing to part with. But we were looking for some pearls, and we were told. Well, specifically, we are looking for a big pearl.
Just one, yes, of reasonable. Well, we can pay about 100 gold for it to make it worth your time.
But only if you have it and you are willing to part with it, obviously. But we figured that if we did not ask, we would not know.
Yeah, I've got something like that. In fact, I have exactly that.
However,
However, I'm not exactly sold on parting with it.
It's understandable.
Yeah.
Well, look, we are just 5 strangers showing up on your doorstep unannounced, and, well, happy to do business with you, but not going to pressure. I assume this is outside the scope of your normal business, this pearl?
It is something that I had. Well, I needed it. I don't really need it anymore, but it's... call it a memento at this point for me.
Sure. I understand that. Quite.
If I may ask, and of course you can tell me, again, I am a stranger, but why don't you need it anymore?
Give me a persuasion check.
20.
Oh, clutch.
Good. I'm not going to
Okay.
complain about that.
So if I roll a natural 20,
Mm-hmm.
then that is going to be a 22. Because I'm not great at that. So thank you, Aaron.
Well, y'all seem like nice folks, and going back to things that maybe more special to Gladen. I did have some special plants. I had a special place. I had my own little glade, you could call it, where I was really working up something special.
Did Jasper rough you up?
God, no. No. God, no.
Seems rather gruff walking through town, so just wanted to check in on your relationship with him. But continue.
Oh, my relationship with him is fine. No, I wasn't sure how he'd feel about this. I found this place and I wanted to keep it to myself because I I wanted to make sure I really had something before I talked to people about it. That probably was part of my problem. But yeah, I was growing some plants, some mushrooms actually, that grew beautifully in this cave, and we had a heavy rainstorm, thundered incredibly that night. Next day I went out to check on them because I was worried. I didn't want them to get too sucked down, and I needed to make sure that everything was good. And everything was good. But it was the early morning. It was dark. Hadn't had my morning tea. And, something. Something loud. Something big. Something nearly killed me.
So
It's awful.
sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, took my arm, and I was able to run and get out. I boarded up after I got out of the shock and after I patched this up as best I could, I boarded up the doors there because I was worried that maybe I had brought something to the town, and
Well, it's very responsible of you to make sure it didn't escape and hurt more people, but I don't know much about mushrooms. I think it's a safe bet that you didn't cause this. Don't blame yourself. You did what you could, and then you did the right thing after.
yeah.
You haven't been back.
Oh God, no.
How long has it been?
It's been about 4 weeks.
How far from town, if you don't mind me gauging the proximity of this incident?
Closer than I'd like. But anyway, so I'm sorry. What was your question?
I was asking why you wanted the pearl.
Right. I had this thought that I'm not magically inclined, but I was hoping that someone would be, and they'd really be able to let me know if I had come across something as special as it felt. So.
Well, sounds like I'm about 4 weeks too late then, because I am the magical type that could
Oh,
help
great.
with that. I don't suppose you still have any samples around, or
No.
and your plot in the cave. It's do you suspect it might still be intact, or?
I don't know. I haven't been back since I blocked it off.
Would they keep growing on their own, assuming they weren't disturbed?
They were growing when I first got there, but I was really bringing them to life.
I bet you it's a shame. Now I'm curious to see what they can do.
So was I. But now I'm just getting by. I'll be honest. I've had a hard time kind of getting interested in doing this anymore.
Does no one in the town aid you in your daily work now that you've lost a limb, Corcoran? Forgive me if I'm not overstepping my bounds, but for somebody as important as you are to this town, to see your garden overgrown, to see the state of your living, you're clearly suffering, my kind sir. We would like to help you if we can.
I was going to say the same thing.
This seems like such a lovely, welcoming, warm place, and here you are, in clear discomfort and distress. You deserve better.
don't take it. This has nothing to do with them. I'll be honest, you're all the first actually people that I told this. That no one else knows.
Sometimes it's easier to trust a face you'll never see again than the ones you see every day.
Precisely. You can confide in us.
It's
But-
hard to lose things like that. Things you thought were always going to be there, you know?
He just looks down at his thumbs. Yeah, it is.
If I could be so bold about it, could you tell me where this cave was?
Yeah. You promise me you won't tell anyone?
Of course.
Promise.
Upon my dying breath, no.
Safe with us.
He heads towards the back and pushes open the back door. There's a perfectly framed view of the northern waterfall. It's under that.
Behind it.
That is very close to these people who are.
Yeah, that makes me feel very uncomfortable.
No one saw you going in and out.
This is, I'll be honest, I lucked out with where my house was.
Yeah.
Is. Yeah, here. I've got your herbalism kits
Thank
set
you
up.
very much.
I can get to work on the on your components, but walk with me. I could use some air.
Happy to.
He steps out into his backyard. We can see a continuation of the garden, similar degree of disrepair, except for the first couple of plants right by his door. They're 2 pots of flowers, and they are very well kept, but it looks as though some difficulty has been had in their upkeep. Dorothy, you were saying?
I would like to fall behind him a little bit, and I would just like to use Druidcraft a little bit as we walk by, and I'll just touch the back of the flowers to try to give them a little bit of extra oomph.
Alright. As you walk along, he has a very small dirt path, and it is not a long walk to the waterfall itself. He turns by and says, "Alright, be wary, it gets a little slippery on the rocks over here." And he rests his arm up against the wall of the cliff that leads up to it and walks, as you can see that he kind of disappears behind the waterfall. And as you follow behind him, there is that wave of mist and water that blinds you for a second, but your eyes clear in this now much darkened area. The waterfall, still being clear, does block out a chunk of the daylight. And you can see up ahead a handmade wooden platform that rests at the top of a natural formed ledge with a wooden ladder that it has been laid on the ground. And you can barely see at the top of this ledge a cave opening. However, the opening from the outside has been boarded up with large planks of wood, and you can see from here very large, thick bolts that go straight into the stone.
Wow.
So, as he speaks over the roar of the waterfall. Like I said, it's really close.
Yeah, it really is.
The tunnel in there goes on for a little whiles, though. It's a small trek. It seems it's a secondary feed, actually. If you look, you'll see it feeds into the waterfall. And as he points over, you can actually see there is the main cascading waterfall above, but coming out from this ledge is a second, fairly strong stream that feeds in and then gets caught into it. So it was an underground waterway that leads out into, well, a beautiful cave that actually opens to the air.
Wow.
And that's where I found that. That's actually how I found it. I fell in on a walk.
Well, lucked out with finding an exit then.
Yeah.
And if we were to offer to go check on your mushrooms for you, would we be going the way you discovered it, or these look like heavy-duty bolts?
I mean, you could knock it down. Either way, if you're going in the first way I found it, you would, you'd need to knock it down.
Well, I know we're on vacation, and we're looking forward to a very relaxing afternoon, but I can't say my curiosity's not piqued.
Same.
Mine is too. I also want to help.
If anything, yes, I personally would like to seek retribution for who or whatever put you in this physical state.
Look, I'll tell you what. If you kill whatever thing that was in there, you said you're a magic user. I'll give you the pearl. But it would make me feel really good knowing that, thing that got my arm gets what's coming to it. And
Help us out, Corcoran. Have you heard or seen anything nocturnal or in the 4 weeks since then of any strange happenings in the water since then?
I've come.
That could alert us to how to answer this problem.
Listen, only after I had the energy to board this up, I came out a couple times to make sure. But I haven't seen anything since.
Okay. So it seems rather subterranean and contained.
Yeah.
Though I think Finn has a point. We should consider this tactically, logically.
Right.
I don't like the thought of something like that being as close to this lovely town full of lovely people.
When something gets this close to people, you have to get it to go away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I understand your concern over your possible I don't know the word you have here in Gladen, but your criminal activity. However, is the risk of alerting those with the means to deal with this here in Gladen too much?
Look, if I'm being honest, I was ashamed of what I potentially brought, and if it wasn't coming out,
Yes. Out of sight, out of mind.
yeah.
Okay.
Why do you think that this is on you? What? I mean, creatures live in caves. You fell in the cave yourself. Creature could have fallen in at any time. Why blame yourself?
I don't know. Maybe maybe my work in there lured it.
Look, I want to help you. I think we're going to help you. Not just because it's what we need. It sounds like the right thing to do and what you need too, but, well, I want to make sure that we can come out of this cave intact and get your vengeance. And we can't promise to kill something we don't know what it is, so any details you have, anything you can equip us
I was
with.
gonna ask the same thing.
I honestly wish I could tell you. It was early morning, it was dark.
No one else was with you?
No.
I kept this place to me.
Did it make any sounds? Did you hear anything?
It was, I heard like a sloshing. It was just like wet.
Possibly
Um,
aquatic.
And it... Whatever it did, it didn't bite me. It ripped it from me. So,
Sizable, powerful.
I can only imagine how painful that must have been. Well, did it... This is going to sound like a weird question. Did you hear any sounds of metal scraping on stone on its approach, anything like that, or
no,
all
nothing like that.
natural? Okay. We will try not to get ripped apart ourselves then, shall we?
We're going to be okay.
Yeah.
These mushrooms, do you want us to try to bring some back, or what?
I honestly hadn't thought that far ahead. I hadn't thought any of this out. I'm gonna
That's
be
fair.
honest
No,
with you.
That's understandable.
We didn't think we'd be going into yet another cave to fight yet another unknown monster.
I didn't think I'd be talking about this today.
And here we are.
You're doing a very good job.
And we know it must be hard and appreciate you feeling open enough to share with us.
Yeah.
Well, then up to you. If you trust us to take the pearl with us, I can identify them potentially right there on the spot without even disturbing them, assuming they're still intact. Or we could bring back some samples and you can keep your collateral.
It's okay if you want to hold on to it.
Of
and
course.
we can make sure that the cave is clear. We do
Then
that sort of
Why don't
thing.
you give me a persuasion check?
Got it. Roll more than that. That's 18.
All right. Yeah. Here, let's head on back. I'll get it for you. And then
Right.
he begins to lead away from the waterfall, where at this point you're all beginning to feel not drenched, but just a layer of wet.
Niagara Falls
very
adjacent.
much not happy about it.
As we continue back again, any plant that I see, I'm just going to try and bring it back a little bit.
Corcoran, it does not escape me that in the 4 weeks since you have not been attending this hidden glade of yours, that the natural growth of your crop may have continued and possibly have some sort of regional effect on whatever is residing there. Do you have any inkling as to what the goal of your harvest would have been? I would hate to walk into a situation in which we are dealing with something that is not of its right mind.
There was 3 varieties that I was growing in there. And with what little work I was able to do, one of them seemed to be very potent in the
Euphoric state?
actually, that was the 3rd one. Yeah, one of them would send you dreaming. Another one I was very hopeful with it having medicinal properties. And the 3rd seemed very likely to be the opposite of that.
I see.
There's lots of uses for them. Growing up, there were a lot of mushrooms near where I grew up, so I've used a lot of them. Maybe I can also help.
Wait, so of the fun, the medicinal, and the potentially dangerous, it's the dangerous one that we want to identify, or?
I'd love to know all three of them, but if that's a thing that takes time, mostly I just want to know if I was coming across anything new. Because in all of my exploration and knowledge, I've been doing this for a few years since before the walls opened. I'd never seen these before. And I really wanted someone with a bit more of the song in them to be able to look at me and say, I have no idea what this is.
Well, this is not speaking to my aptitude. I will have no idea what they are. I am not a well versed in any of the nature things. But if it does have magical properties with the pearl, I should be able to at least tell you its power.
All right. Give me a second, and he begins rooting through the same chest of drawers that he was pulling a bunch of the herbs from. Eventually, he pulls out a small pouch. Says, "Here," and he chucks it on over to you. And as soon as your hand clasps around it, you can feel it is sizable.
All right. Well, we will keep this safe, and well, whether or not I can do all three of them in the cave without disturbing, that depends on how dealing with this creature goes. If I had to make a choice and only do one, is there any marking or trait to identify it visually?
Honestly, any of the three. I don't have a...
Okay.
If you
Okay.
can get to one, yeah.
Got it. So, keeping an eye out for mushrooms, and if we were to bring some back, so I could later identify it, is that okay?
I'm pretty good at making sure that I could harvest them in such a way that, it won't kill the rest.
Very good.
I've got a lot of practice with that sort of thing.
All right. Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
Okay.
The long stalks and the small caps. Be careful. That's the poisonous one.
Okay.
And the yellow one. Be careful of that. That's the one that will take you a while to come back to the ground.
I'm curious about that though.
Yeah. And the red one. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well,
If we did get some safely, would they only grow in the caves, or would there be another way
Mushrooms
to?
are one of those things that are kind of tricksy to grow
Yeah.
because they sort of want to eat what they want to eat.
Right.
So it's possible, but that's
Would
where they
be
want to grow.
difficult.
That's where
Yeah.
they want to grow.
Okay.
But we can at the very least see what's in there. Again, I'm concerned that it's this close to people. So
Yeah.
I probably want to make sure it's not this close to people, and also help out our new friend.
Mm-hmm.
if we can. If we're successful.
I'm realizing I got caught up in everything. You think you can handle this?
Well,
You seemed very confident, but I just realized I might have just asked you to...
I suppose we have absolutely no idea,
Yeah.
but
There's no way to know.
I, I'm very good at getting out of situations, and so are my friends. We're very capable at this kind of thing.
and we have successfully escaped a cave with very dangerous
Very-
creatures more than once already, so we have a better shot.
If anything, I think we were supposed to come talk to you today. The more we discuss what happened to you, the more I feel like we are the exact right people to set this right.
Well, in that case, it has been a delight meeting you. It's been nice talking to someone. And I sincerely hope that I get to see you again.
So do we.
As mentioned, we are leaving in the morning, so if this is done, it will be done forthright.
All right.
You'll hear from us.
And if we don't come back, you should probably tell the gods what's going on.
Yeah.
I would like to just take a quick moment, and I don't want it to seem patronizing, but I also just sort of want to be like, at a place where I'm not leaning over him. I just sort of want to sit next to him for a second. And if it's all right, I'd like to just sort of gently reach out and try to take his hand. No matter what, you're going to be okay. You've come out of this alive, which is what matters. And you're going to be okay. Loss isn't fun. And it's always going to be with you a little bit. But you're going to be all right.
I think it. Thank you.
Have you eaten lunch yet?
Yeah.
Shall we?
I think we need to take a walk down to the water and talk amongst ourselves.
Okay.
Well, it's mostly to figure out how to get in.
I mean, I imagine you could try,
I do have tools.
Well, it was either nice knowing you or very nice to meet you, and we'll see you very soon.
Oh, we're going to see you very soon. We can do this.
He just kind of stares off and nods.
Nod and turn and just leave.
All right.
I'll
As you
close the
all-
door last.
As you all walk out of Cochrane's home to decide how best to get in, we're going to take a short break. We're going to be right back, ladies and gentlemen. 10 minutes. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you soon. Welcome back, everyone. We hope that you enjoyed your break. I don't really have any waxing poetic to do. Actually, wait, no. I need to be better about talking about us and promoting us. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Adventures Pack. Welcome to Melos Machina. If you've been enjoying the show so far, please consider giving us depending on what platform you're on, subscribing to us on Twitch, subscribing to us on YouTube, or hitting that like button. If you would like to support us, you can head on over to our Patreon. And a reminder that starting next week, we will be having a special behind-the-scenes peek for after shows, where if you are a subscriber or a patron, you will get to be a fly on the wall after the show as we pack up and talk as players at this table about everything that just happened. Not on camera, but on camera. It's going to be, it's meta, I guess.
You can also access our playlist.
Yes.
Character.
You can also take a look at the characters sheets as well.
That's for Gauntlet, but for us, it's the character playlist.
Oh, yeah, the character playlists. Thank you.
Yeah.
We've got 4 songs for each of the players up right now. I know I've been having a grand time anytime anyone is over. I play the 4 songs of everyone and what do we think?
I got a new beanbag chair recently. Thank you.
Oh,
and I
snap.
just was sitting in the beanbag chair listening to music.
I know I have to listen to everybody as I'm excited.
I tried playing them all at the same time to see if there was any secret messaging. I haven't cracked it yet. There's a lot of
Did you do it
combinations.
backwards?
So
That was-
between forward, backwards, and then
Yeah.
every combination of the 20
All the
songs.
songs at once.
Yeah,
Melos is
I don't-
dead.
I
His
don't know
ways
that I'm
fit
gonna
us
get
backwards.
there before the spoilers actually are
Who
canon.
knows?
So we'll see. We'll see.
Just the Jackson Pollock of music.
Yeah.
Well, with that, let's go ahead and come on back in. As you all leave Corcoran's home, you have now a task set aside with payment already given of having now acquired presumably a pearl in a bag.
All right. So, I think that we should go in the way through the door, and if you
Yeah.
think you maybe can open it,
Yeah, I'm sure I have something.
and then maybe we can close it behind us. That way, the monster doesn't, circle around us and go
Well,
outside.
or we drag the monster out through the door if it comes to that.
It's fair. But I mean, we can reopen it.
I got a little lost in the geography. There's another way into the cave that Corcoran discovered accidentally.
There's a hole from up on top of the waterfall above it, but we would sort of fall into
I
it.
see. Okay.
And I mean, I can get in, but I don't know. I know you can, do that thing that you did. But
Oh, yeah.
but
I'm
I
able
don't
to
know
go
about
down,
everyone.
but not up.
And, well, I mean, outside of a very vague description of it's at the top of the waterfall and I fell in, I don't think I have time to go poking around on a hike.
I think this is probably the best way in.
Yeah.
I could get everybody out, but it would sort of be a one at a time sort of thing. Because I'd have to, turn into something that can go up the wall, and then I would take you with me sort of one at a time. But that's not very expedient if there's a monster. So
Yeah.
I think we should take the door.
Okay.
Agreed.
Finn, do you need to study prior to this? Should we perhaps delay any sort of incursion until a little later this evening so that we can be better prepared to handle whatever seemingly
Well-
disastrous situation could befall us?
It's a good question. I certainly couldn't just identify this thing at will in a moment's notice, but it's been done it once in class. Pretty sure I remember well enough. It might take some time, but I should be able to.
Sure.
You can cast as a ritual a non-prepared spell, right?
You can.
As a wizard, yeah,
Mhm.
I can. So yes, if we're not in a rush or being chased out by a monster, I could theoretically do it right now.
Sure. Do we have any inkling of what could be ferocious enough to tear off someone's arm
I
that
have no idea.
dwells within a cave near water?
How close are we to the edge of the prowling fields here?
I don't think we're very far. They're on the other side of the Condorflow, aren't they? From where Gladen is.
The side that Gladen is on the closer side to the Prowling Fields.
I see, okay.
If you continue going off in the direction of the waterfalls,
behind it. Yeah.
it would end up being more dangerous the farther away you go.
Then I suppose something would have crawled in.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no idea what is natural here, let alone what's not natural. All I know is if you can rip off your arm, it's dangerous, and even the things we've fought so far, I don't think could have done that.
No. Well, nothing that makes sloshing sounds
That
that
is-
can also do that.
Yeah, no, I have absolutely no ideas.
No ideas.
But no matter what. Oh, and I don't have my stick. I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
Do you need it? Is it?
It helps.
Should we return
We could go
and
get
retrieve it?
No, I'll be alright.
Will any stick do? Because we can find.
I suppose any stick sort of will do. Do I see any?
Look for stick.
I'd like to look for a stick that is big and sturdy enough to be used as a quarterstaff.
I would like to roll for stick.
So, a stick that is big and sturdy enough to be used as a quarterstaff is going to be a rarer find.
I know.
Because lots of sticks are big and sturdy, but being able to withstand the repeated use of thwacking is the trick.
I know.
I'm not even going to have you roll looking about at everything that
Nothing.
you see. There's nothing that...
Right.
Now, that being said, you are in the middle of a town.
Yeah.
You're not out in nature.
I'll keep an eye as we get closer. I will be fine without it. I have plenty of things I can do that are not my stick.
Okay.
All right. I do have a dagger I never use if you need a weapon.
Sure.
Proficiencies. Where's the thing?
It's
Feature.
common weapon.
Yeah, I think I can. Let
Simple
me double check.
weapon, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a simple weapon. I'm pretty sure I can use it, but I remember my
it's simple.
weapon proficiencies
It's just a short
are
stick
weird.
that's pointy.
I won't be able to make it pointy. Alternatively, that I sort of need it to be a stick. But alternatively, I've noticed I can add extra damage to these things. So if you don't mind, borrowing a dagger would be very nice.
It's a very fancy accessory for me at the moment, and that's all the good it's doing me. So
No, thank you.
maybe you can put it to use.
I'll sort of put it in one of my little bags that's on my belt, a little bit there. Okay, and sort of tie it into one of my belts there. I will be very careful to not stab myself and only stab the monster.
That is important.
Yeah.
Generally, best practice.
But I'm not too worried about it. I'm pretty good at close range and far range, even without my stick. The stick is just nice.
It is. Andy, how are we going to get these bolts out?
Let me look.
So are we
Can I-
heading back to the waterfall at this point?
I think
Yeah.
we'd be walking there at least
Yeah,
while we're
I
talking.
assume we were walking
Yeah.
and talking.
Gotcha.
Yeah, can I investigate that?
Yeah, so from the base here, putting the ladder up against the ledge, it is wet and it is a little unstable. But getting from the ground to the top looks like it could be a little dangerous.
Okay. Is there a way for me to, like, pry it open?
Well, it's hard to tell from here because the
We have to go.
you have to go up
Mhm.
to
To
the,
the
ledge
platform.
where
Got
the door, well, the cave opening is barred shut.
Okay.
You essentially have a soggy wooden ladder to get from the base onto the ledge, where you can then access the door.
And a very heavy drill badger on the wrong side of the ladder.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if Chauncey would to go. Which is unfortunate, but yeah.
I'm looking to
Okay.
what I have available to me right now, and unfortunately, none of it helps me get Chauncey there.
You don't
Yeah.
want to fling him like you did so many other objects.
I think he's heavier than that. I cannot catapult Chauncey, can I?
That should be the opening move every time.
I'm just imagining Chauncey.
Kind of like one of the Angry Birds.
I think it's only
Exactly.
Yeah, I think there's a weight
like
limit. I'm
5 pounds.
Yeah, he's a little more than that.
We haven't taken a short rest.
Yeah,
today,
1
right?
to 5 pounds.
have not,
No.
No rest.
I might want
We might have some time here figuring out how we're going to get in.
to.
We could tie ropes and try to lift if we can get up there safely and find purchase.
Yeah, well, I feel like if someone holds the ladder and then, you know, one person is up there and then we can kind of see how,
Yeah, perhaps I can be the anchor up top
yeah.
and then help hoist. But let's at least get a better sense of our footing up there.
Okay,
So I'll start heading towards the ladder.
and I'll hold it.
Yeah, just give me a stable base and I'll clamber up.
Yeah, with it being stabilized, it's very simple to do.
Okay. And you said about how big was the platform up here? Is it 4x4 or?
So now that
like
you're up
6x6?
here, it's roughly 6x6. You can see a couple of feet on either side, but then the center is channeled out. So you have roughly, actually be bigger than that. It's about 8x8, where you've got 2 feet on either side and then a 4-foot channel in the center where the water is coming out from behind this. And as you look over, you can see that the tunnel opening is mostly for where the water is.
Okay.
It's hard to fully see it as it's been boarded up, but yeah.
Okay. And as I turn around, do I see any potential way of like tying between Ike and I being able to like tie off a rope to like create some sort of rope pulley system to get Chauncey up if we were able to like loop things around and
Yeah.
make a little baskets or a little
There's nothing up here, at least as part of the cave itself. But as you look around onto the, because a chunk of this has also been created, so it's not just stone. There's also wood to one side. Looking over there are some places where you think you might be able to feed a rope in. You aren't sure how sturdy it would be and whether or not it would support all of Chauncey's weight. But it's not out of the question.
I think with a little creativity and a little ingenuity, we might be able to weave some rope through in a way that could get him up. It's not really one for... We need Hachi is really the one who would help us with this. I'm sure you might have a better way of understanding, but just give it a shot, and if it fails,
Right,
then-
if we can't, we can't.
Okay. So is it possible then to like take like a blanket of sorts and kind of loosely tie like a sort of soft basket between 2 ropes? And we can throw the ends up and try and just haul.
I have a cloak.
I have my cloak. Pitch in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we can kind of loosely lash together 2 cloaks, 2 lengths of 50-foot rope to make like a little hammock, and then from the ends of those ropes toss them up to then have 2 people haul them up together. I think that might be worth a shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Worth trying.
Sure, I could go up and help Icon
Okay.
up there.
If
I guess the only concern is the last of us that's down at the bottom. It's
A little tight.
not gonna be as safe to go up. Can we hold the ladder from the top?
You could try.
Okay.
I mean, oh shoot, because in that case, actually wait, no, because it will last a long time. You know what I could do? So
sorry, Scott. I'm trying to visualize this, and I'm having some issues. So we're having a rope ladder up to the ledge where the door is, right?
It's a wooden
wood-
ladder.
Wooden
ladder,
ladder,
yeah.
right? And it's
Soggy wooden
wobbly.
ladder,
Okay. And about how high up?
The ledge is between 7 and 8 feet up, so
7
it's
and
not
8 feet up?
terribly
Huge
tall.
fall.
But
Okay.
okay.
I mean, we've lowered each other in and out of pits in caves before. I'm less worried about ourselves than Chauncey, but
I have an idea.
Oh.
If we, the last person to go up, we can tie, which I can volunteer for. We can tie the rope or put Chauncey in the mechanism, but leave him there to leverage
Stabilize. Yeah.
the ladder.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then we can pull him up
Sure.
after.
Okay.
The only fun thing is going to be getting down, but we can figure that out. Maybe there's a way to pull the ladder back up.
at that point we just jump in the lake. It'll be refreshing.
Yes. How about that is a proper plan to get Chauncey up.
Okay.
Let's have you, Andy, though, go up and
Yeah.
come on up here and check out
Oh yeah, see if
Cochrane's
I can open it. Yeah,
efficacy of these bolts
Yeah.
here. See if we can pop some
Okay.
of these bolts open.
I'll go up next. And then, investigate the boards and see if there's an easy way for me to pry them open.
sure. As you go and take a look at the boards, go ahead and give me an investigation check.
That's an 8.
Okay. Coming up to this, you see the boards where the bolt enters. In many places, it's split. And the boards are across. They seem placed, but now that you are closer to it, it is fairly sloppy. And you take a look at the bolts, and as you go to inspect one, and you put pressure on it, it just
Comes out.
falls right out.
Okay.
Poor guy.
I know.
He was
I mean,
one-handed.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was doing it all
It was his
in
best.
shock and
Yeah,
with one arm.
Yeah, probably not in a good way when he was doing this.
I was wondering.
Okay.
How's
Yeah.
it going up there?
Seems easy.
Oh.
To get in, so that's not gonna be a problem at all. So yeah, let's all just try to get up here, and then I don't know. We can see if we can hoist the ladder up last, or hold it from the top. I don't know. We can try a bunch of different things and see what happens.
I like that. How can I help? I tied the cloaks together, but I think that's about the extent of where I can.
Okay, yeah, I guess, and they're attached to a rope?
No,
That's what
they're
we
just
were
two
doing?
cloaks tied
Okay,
together by the
I'll
arms.
come back down and we'll
Cool.
make a mechanism out of
This
this.
felt wrong for sure, so leave it to you.
Okay.
Unless there's something specific, I should probably brush up on the spell.
No, can I mean, I'm proficient in figuring out mechanisms, but is this something I can kind of roll for to see if I can fashion something that we'd be able to lift him with?
It looks as though a lot of the creativity has gone into this. With what you have, it doesn't seem like a bad idea.
Okay.
This is one of those things. You could roll for it. I don't have a solution, and so I think we need This all seems good to me.
Okay, great.
It
Okay,
might
so
work,
I'll
it might not.
Yeah, I'll tie it kind of together so it makes a little basket for him, and have him kind of. Well, I'll have him go in first in the cloaks, and then I'll tie it up. And I'll have him kind of leverage the ladder, and I'll go back up.
Okay.
And then, yeah, it should be leveraged enough that everyone else can
We all
go
just-
up, and then we'll see if we can pull him up and pull the ladder up, and huzzah.
All right.
So one by one, you all climb up the ladder, and with Chauncey putting his front paws on it, there's a little bit of a bow in it as he puts a little bit of weight on it, but it doesn't snap. And you all are each able to get up, no worries.
Okay.
And
Is there a way for one of us to pull the ladder up?
Oh, easily, yeah.
Okay, great. So we'll have the ladder up on the platform.
Alright.
As you pull the ladder up, you now look down and you see with this makeshift cradle harness and rope, just Chauncey there staring up at you, his
Oh,
eyes waiting.
okay.
I think
So
all together now,
yeah,
to be
I
honest.
think yeah.
Everybody lend a
let's-
hand.
Yeah.
Or 3,
we'll
as
try.
my mage hand, but it's going to take 10 pounds on the rope.
Okay.
I will say, I think if you're doing
Oh, I need
mage
to control,
hand,
yeah.
it's one or the other.
Yeah.
And I think you can carry more than 5 pounds yourself.
I'm not a big guy, but
Theoretically.
I think so. Or lugging around this box would be a much bigger problem.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Are we all? Should I
Is
roll
it a-
for Aiken?
I will
as
say,
well?
let's go ahead and have this be a group check. I'll go ahead and roll for Icon.
Okay.
A group strength check.
We'll have this be athletics.
Athletics.
Get
Seems
out of
like
the
a-
way from me.
Come on, mama.
Whoa,
Okay.
I rolled so
Not
good
bad.
though.
Yeah.
I'm not good at this.
15.
13.
19.
16.
Wow. And a 21 from Icon.
All right.
My baby.
And
It's because we had a good breakfast.
Yeah.
would you also give me an athletics from
Chauncey?
Oh, it did not go tumbling.
Okay.
Buddy.
Yeah, so it would be the same as strength,
Mhm.
assumedly.
I think he's got, yeah, so it's +2 for that.
That was bad. I should have used Chauncey's die. Oh, wait, athletics?
Mhm.
I mean, still bad, but better. A 6.
It's okay. As you all begin to brace, and there's that moment of, all right, we're about to do this, you being up at the front, looking down at Chauncey, he seems to connect the dots, and kind of, you see his traditional just getting low into the ground, but you also see his legs then pull up, and right as you are all about to pull, he pushes up to jump as much as he can. It gets him 5 feet into the air.
Okay.
The timing wasn't perfect,
Right.
so you do feel that
Like a, right, and then
And then
it pulled back.
Then the weight of it.
so
Yeah.
you do stumble a little bit.
Yeah.
Who was in the back of this? I imagine.
I think I would've
who's
been-
like the anchors for this.
Oh, it probably
Probably
would have been Aiken.
Icon.
Yeah,
and-
in the back.
That could be me.
I'm in the
Andy's up
front.
I think you're in the
yeah.
front. I would be in the back probably. I'm not the strongest.
Gotcha. So we'll say you and I can kind of stumble back, and your feet go into the water. They slip a little bit, but with this check, you're still good enough to stand firm. And with the extra momentum that you all give from this pull, you see Chauncey's arms after he's jumped, his front paws come up, and you see his little claws extend, and they grip onto the side.
Dang.
Dig into the wood, and you can see part of it just bends and splinters, and he quickly latches back on. But with all of your help, you're able to lift him up onto this ledge.
Hell yeah.
Oh, this is a hard workout.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. It will definitely help to have Chauncey with us. So
I definitely
I-
want to go in there with all of the tools that we
yeah,
have.
I
for
appreciate it.
Adding to the invention wish list some kind of pocket crane of some sort.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Noodle it.
In all honesty, friends, I actually wouldn't mind taking a brief moment to recollect and study some of the materials that I've brought with me. So, Andy, could you set to work on the boards for...
I don't think it'll take long. It pretty much just came out very easily,
But
so...
we could make a show of it if you need some time. I don't need to prepare the spell, but I did get in my head a little bit. It's been a long time since I've done
Yeah,
it.
we
and
can take
Yeah,
a second.
I wouldn't be
My
opposed.
my party trick
Sure.
earlier with Gwen means I'm walking into this less with less rocks in the chamber. So
What do you mean the party trick?
leaping
thing.
The
over the
feather
edge
fall.
of
Did the thing and
the
even
That one.
waterfall. Yes,
God, you're right. Yes, that was just this morning. Wow, this day.
I know, it's been
So-
a very long
Yeah.
day.
Well, I cannot equate myself with any advantageous or aggressive spellcasting. I could replenish my capabilities of at least utilizing what I have prepared for today.
Sure.
Briefly.
Right.
Yeah.
So I need about an hour's worth of studying because I'm still learning.
It's fine. We can take some time up here. What time of day is it at this point?
At this point, you're getting into the mid-afternoon.
Okay.
With the amount of time that you've taken with Corcoran, sorting out this as well, and the brunch that you had, you're looking at roughly like 2:30, 3
Okay.
o'clock.
Okay. Yeah. So we're fine on time. Okay. Yeah.
I will say, if you're aiming for a place to rest for an hour, have all of you perched on this ledge behind
In the mist.
the waterfall.
Maybe not the best one.
It's a very, not the most restful place.
Mhm.
Any sort of parchment that you might have that's non-magical
wet.
is potentially going to be ruined.
Gotcha.
Okay.
However, you do have whatever lies behind this door that may give you more respite.
Sure.
Or now that Chauncey is up here,
Yeah. You guys could go back down.
And just leave you?
Yeah, we can
I'll
just
sit here with
yeah,
you.
stay here.
I don't need a rest,
No.
so I can just sit here.
Well,
Just, I want to be prepared, so
Yeah.
I think I need to take a
That's
moment
fine.
of personal
Understood.
meditation.
Sure.
So yeah, I'll
this
kick the,
morning we were on vacation. I think we all need to at least readjust.
Yeah.
yeah, I'll kick the rope ladder back down.
The
The
wooden
wooden
ledge.
Oh, sorry, wooden. Yeah,
I'll
I also made this mistake.
I'll try to hold it from the top for him
Yeah.
to go down.
it is, as you place it and feel the top, you place your first step and you can feel, oh, this is wobbly without anything bracing it at the
I see.
base.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Could Chauncey use his claws to hold on to the top of the ladder?
Potentially, but again, it feels as though
Right,
something
it's
needs
just
to be
at
at the
the bottom.
base.
is
to-
it like a fire escape ladder that like has stronger mechanisms on top, but like further away from its?
This is just a basic wooden ladder.
Very cool.
Well, a very wet basic wooden
Sure.
ladder.
Okay.
Is it wet enough to be like rope?
It's getting there. You saw when Chauncey placed weight that it bowed without snapping.
Yeah. Something tells me it won't have the tensile strength though that rope would. I'm gonna stay up there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's. Don't trust my ankles anymore all of a sudden. So
I don't trust caves.
also something to be aware of. Yes, perhaps a little. Perhaps I'm being too overcautious. I think
Well, we can poke our
Progressing.
heads in
Yeah.
and then just
just find someplace dry.
them right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I'll open
Mhm.
it up.
As you pull plank after plank, board after board, they all come off with varying degrees of ease, but none of them difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Gives you that sense that if something was trying to bust out of here, it would have.
Okay.
But inside, you see. Do you have dark vision?
Neither
No.
of us. Yeah, we're
No.
the ones that don't.
Nope.
You can see it gets dark fairly quickly,
Mm-hmm.
but you can hear less of a rushing and just a flowing of this, this small underground river that is pouring in to create this second waterfall. And looking about, you can see that all of this tunnel seems to be naturally carved out of the water. But there is not just an open cave. There is a tunnel.
Okay. Maybe best to have someone who can see in the dark go first.
I don't mind.
Okay.
I'll assist as well, and I'll do my thing. I'll draw my rapier, and I'll tap the point and light the way.
All right.
Right behind Duathi.
With light beaming out, you can now see that the tunnel goes in and actually opens up slightly to the sides. This water seems to have carved away a lot over time, this space, giving you very clear, on either side of the flowing water, solid ground to walk on. As you go inside, it dries fairly quickly, with the mist of the waterfall coming in, but not able to travel too terribly far.
Oh, thank goodness for that. I was not enjoying being as wet as I was.
I can fix that. I've been. You may have noticed me just like instinctually kind of like drying my jacket at just sporadically as we've been in front of the waterfall, and then I run my hand down and cast prestidigitation and kind of dry the most wet parts of you.
Yeah, I do kind
Of
of
your clothes.
like a dog shake. Say thank you.
Right.
I will continue looking forward ahead, and I'm just sort of
Absolutely.
listening and watching. I'm also watching the ground so we don't accidentally stump all over the mushrooms.
Yeah.
As you step in, now that it is dry, you actually very quickly come across a small alcove that appears to have naturally been carved out of this rock face, where you see a small table and a stool. The stool has been knocked over, but on the table is a small herbalism kit. Appears mostly the tools for it. Some cutting shears, some small tweezers, a few vials, all empty.
I would like to carefully pack that all up and put it in my pack. That way I can bring it back to Cochrane.
Okay.
I mean, if you all want to take some time now, we found a dry spot
Sure.
and we can sit for a little bit.
I can keep watch again. I don't need to take a rest, so
Yeah,
I've
I
got
can-
pretty good eyesight, so I can just watch out.
Yeah.
All right.
How long does the light stay up? Good question. It's pretty good. An hour. Yeah. So I'll keep the spell going as I just kind of sit down and pore over my spell book. Just trying to gain the same type of confidence that I had earlier in the day.
And as you all take a moment, sit down, rest against the stone wall here in this small alcove that looks as though it may have been a place that Corcoran was using. Unsure as to what lays ahead of you in this tunnel. That is where we're going to end tonight's episode.
You really like your cliffhangers.
No, you got off that. You're in the cliff.
We're in the cliff. You're right. Yeah, yeah.
Ba-dum, dum, dum, dum,
The
dum, dum,
cliff
dum.
drillers.
Yeah.
All right.
Cliff climbers.
We will be back here next week, ladies and gentlemen, to see what is going on, what is at the end of this tunnel that has hurt poor Corcoran so much. You all have a fantastic rest of your week. A reminder that we'll be here at 7 p.m. for episode 22 next week. Check us out on all the social medias. Follow us on whichever platform you are watching us. You can head on over to our Patreon. And next week, we will be popping in for an after-show hangout. Have a fantastic time. We'll see you then. Bye, everyone.